Okay, so in this video, I really want to talk about why the word of wisdom should matter to you and also why it matters to God. But in reality, um, I really started my business because I was seeing so many of my family members suffering and I really wanted it to end. Um, and when I came to learn about the word of wisdom and temporal salvation and lifestyle medicine and how it all came together, that's when I realized that this was something I really needed to share with everyone. So here goes. Let's do this. So, um, when I think about our bodies and how we use them, a variation of the parable of the talents comes to mind. God gave us a gift, a body, a temple, and He asked us to take care of it. How well are we taking care of that body? Think about the parable of the talents. Who would we be in the parable of the talents if those talents were actually our body? I'll be honest, there are moments I feel like the servant who just kind of hides it in the dirt. But what of the servants who invest in their body and take care of it? How much more energy and health do they get back? As a health coach, the one thing that all of my clients have mentioned when they start to follow the word of wisdom, whether they are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or not, is how good they feel. They have energy like they haven't had in years. They just feel great. Their bodies feel better in every single aspect. Now, if you could have that kind of energy, how much better would you be able to serve God, to connect with your family, to get the work done that is required of you? This page is part of the guidelines for cholesterol and heart disease risk that comes from the American College of Cardiology and the American Heart Association. It says right in the guidelines that lifestyle is really the foundation for reducing disease, not medication. Honestly, though, looking at clinical guidelines for any lifestyle related condition will show the exact same thing. Lifestyle is the foundation in these guidelines, but really it's talked about more as an afterthought. Most of what is talked about is related to drugs, unfortunately, or other expensive therapies. What really should happen is a focus on lifestyle changes to improve health and make that a focus through changing behavior and habits, and then moving on to drugs and medication and other therapies as needed. Addressing lifestyle first will lead to less medication later on. This is from a study on a diabetes prevention program that really shows the power of lifestyle medicine. In this study, they were looking at what would prevent type 2 diabetes the best. There were three groups in this program: those who were assigned a placebo of doing absolutely nothing different from what they were already doing; those that were assigned metformin, which is the most prescribed drug for type 2 diabetes; and those that were assigned lifestyle changes without any further medication. They followed these people for a few years to see what would happen. They were able to show through this that lifestyle changes are more powerful in the prevention of diabetes than drug intervention. Now, these lifestyle changes were actually fairly simple and easy. They were nothing serious or rigorous, but there was still a bigger impact on disease than that of metformin. Imagine then if you put more effort into changing your lifestyle and what those results might be for you, whatever you may be going through, whether it's high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, trying to lose weight. There's just so many things. If you put more of an effort into changing your lifestyle, what might those results be if you knew the proper changes to make? Let's go back to that plant analogy that I gave you about the yellow leaves in the last video. And I want you to look at these diseases. All of these diseases are related in the sense that they are all chronic conditions, and all of them stem from lifestyle habits. Often, you see some of these conditions together. But here's the crazy thing. 80% of diseases are preventable. And that list of diseases we are trying to prevent and reverse through lifestyle changes. And the funny thing about this is that we don't really need different programs for each of these diseases. I specialize in reversing type 2 diabetes because I wanted to make sure that I could help diabetics, that I really understood what was going on below the surface so that I could help them. But there's so much more to it than diabetes. And the thing that always shocks my diabetic patients or clients, not really patients because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, guys. Is that they are also reversing other diseases at the same time. They always get way more than they bargained for when they work with me. Really, all of the proper lifestyle changes prevent, treat, and reverse all of those diseases. So just like that indoor plant I have, when I treat the underlying problem, or when we treat the underlying problem in our bodies, with a plant, you use, sun, water, soil, the whole plant gets better and improves. And it's the same thing with the human body. If we provide the body with the right nutrition and other lifestyle changes, then everything gets better. The obesity gets better. The type 2 diabetes gets better. The high blood pressure gets better. The heart disease risk goes down. What's really happening is that you are providing the body with the means necessary to heal itself. And this is such a powerful thing to watch in my clients. And it amazes me and them every single time. Whenever they're taken off a medication or they experience easy weight loss, every time it reminds me of the temporal salvation that can be ours if we treat this gift from God, this body of ours, properly. Now, I'm not saying in any way that I'm against preventative medicine. I have seen it do amazing things, save lives, lengthen lives, and I do actually consider it a modern day miracle. Half of my family would not be here without it, and I personally wouldn't be here without it. So I do think of it as a wonderful thing. It's just that it doesn't get to the root of these problems. Now, as an example of what this is like, I remember about 7 years ago, I had a very busy husband who was gone 12 or more hours a day. And I was a mom to 3 little kids, 4 and under. I went through a 3-week spell of very severe dizziness. I literally couldn't do anything for myself or for my kids. Nothing would fix it. I went to the doctor who gave me a diagnosis of vertigo and gave me some Dramamine to lessen the dizziness. I remember looking at the doctor and saying, I don't want medicine to lessen the problem. I want to be healed from the problem. She threw her hands in the air and said she didn't know how to help me. I did not appreciate the Band-Aid approach. I wanted so badly to find out why this was happening so that I could get back to normal life and not have to lay around on my couch anymore. I wanted to get to the root cause. In medicine, when we get to the root cause first, there are less aggressive measures down the road that need to be taken. And the thing I love most is that when you treat one medical problem, you end up treating many other problems as well. It's so powerful to see this happen as people fully embrace the word of wisdom. Lifestyle medicine is evidence-based. And anyone who tells you that it doesn't work hasn't really tried it, or they haven't tried it properly. And this is exactly why I teach it. So I talked a little bit about the physical aspects of the word of wisdom, and I want to get back to the spiritual side of all of this. So I will see you for that in the next video.